Bom dia, everyone, or hello, everyone. Today I'm here with Mariana, which is the co-founder of Vivo Smart Chain. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Mauricio?
But hey, for those of whom they don't know, do you mind to give us an intro and tell us about yourself?
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited about being in your show. I'm from Brazil. My background is in advertising and communications. I have been working with ads and communication for 25 years. And then I worked with companies that are mostly starting or changing the behavior of a specific industry because the process needs a disruption. I'll give you some examples: Spotify, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Waze. These are all technology and community companies that based an existing model into something new that's more democratic. And I have a lot of passion for that. So this has been my background, always trying to create something new out of what's already there. So after the experience with this, at the time, startups that today are part of our daily lives, I got involved with crypto in DeFi Summer. I think that's mostly when a lot of the people that we know started their engagement with crypto. And I completely fell in love with DeFi. It changed the way I see money, it changes the way I see freedom from the standpoint of decision making, not so much how the world should operate, but from the standpoint that you can make your own decisions. You should study to make your own decisions, and everybody should have the same chance to partake in the society and in the opportunities. And from that point on, it became this rabbit hole that we all get in, and I never left. So that's how I got involved with DeFi and crypto. I met Fabio, the other co-founder of VSC, and Fabio comes from a technology background and a wearable device company, and together we decided to take the wearable device business into the Web3 space. So that's how everything started. So now we're finally connecting a model that already makes sense for the wearable device technology, but in the world of Web3.
I love this. Thank you so much for the fantastic intro. Sometimes I think about, like you said, sometimes I think about Web3 and how much it changed my life, even from a perspective, exactly like you said. Once you wire your brain to the Web3
Yeah.
universe, it is next to impossible to go back to quote normal because you see, it's like having a new color, you see a new color and you can't unsee it. It is fascinating. And I think it's going to have a major impact on our lives. And for those of whom they don't know much about it, I will encourage to go and do some research because now, like we were saying, quote off camera, is the time to build, build in
Yeah.
yourself, create educations, create products, make relationships, build stuff because there's going to be another wave. And when the wave comes in, you want to be prepared, right?
I think until you get involved with DeFi, you don't really understand that you have an active voice to the point that you get to make your decisions. And it's also very scary too, because I see that DeFi is not easy. Web3 is not easy in from an execution standpoint. So I believe a lot of people stay away from it because it feels so hard. But the sense of empowerment that you get when you study and you're capable of deciding for yourself, that is a type of freedom that anybody could apply to their life regardless of DeFi. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's a ship that changes in your mindset, that makes you accountable for your own success and gives you access to the responsibility to protect yourself or to make informed decisions that sometimes in the society and in the day to day people become more passive in that role, and they don't really take control, real control of their possibilities. That's kind of how I feel about DeFi in general and Web3.
For me, it's so natural. If you think about the evolution of internet or the evolution of digital per se, it's such a needed step. We've gone so
Yeah.
far, so deep into technology when it comes to digital, and there is some missing pieces that we had until, like you said, DeFi or Web3 came in, and now they kind of solve real problems. Like you can actually, sometimes I speak to people, they're not familiar with NFTs or Web3 in general. Web 1 was read only, Web 2 is read and write, Web
Yeah.
3 is read, write, and own, which means you would be able to actually control your assets, control your data. There are companies, if you think about it, the companies that actually quote made internet, like Facebook and your Googles and all those people, they actually managed our data for so long and we didn't have control of that. But I think this is going to change. We will see, I mean, not tomorrow, it's going to take time for us to rewire our brains, for society to accept new technologies, but we will go into a place where I believe we will have a different approach with whatever we call digital property.
Yeah, your digital identity, right? I don't know that it's going to take this long because I think all people already have the knowledge that they're being farmed of their data every day from many different sources that collect your data. But I think what we're missing today is a tool that allows people to really take control, but a tool that's easy.
Yeah.
I think in general, Web3 today is can be clumsy in some sense. There is this disconnection with the real world because it's so different. But when you give people the tool, they really take control of their decisions and their data. I think we're lacking a tool.
I agree. I think we need one company who cracks the user experience a little bit more. But it reminds me of when internet was kind of launched or introduced back in the days. I remember how painful it was to connect to the internet. You have to, block your phone line, dial into a modem, wait.
Remember that?
Remember, everything was super
Yeah.
slow. There was no Google. There was nothing. We kind of had Alta Vista to begin with. Yahoo was a major player. We had Netscape.
ICQ.
Exactly, IRC. So it was a really different space. And then look what happened a few years forward. Apple came out with the iPhone and they changed the game entirely. So now you have a computer in your pocket 24/7. So I agree with you. I think we just need one player. And by the way, in the background, there is a lot of company building a lot of things. They don't say. Google Cloud is adding 11 blockchains on their database so that people can investigate on them. Has been leaked today that Microsoft is kind of investigating on having a wallet, crypto wallet in the next Xbox. So those things are going to come in. And one of those major players, I think Apple is playing with crypto. So we just need one of those players, Samsung, Apple, you name it, a big giant tech doing something with it. And then you blink twice and everyone is wired in.
I think they're all already having their experiences. Sometimes they don't really connect by themselves. They acquire companies that are connected. So think about it. And I had that example in my own life when I took part of Waze. Waze became the power of Google Maps, right? So everybody could think that Google Maps was not going to be fed by people's information, but then you acquire a company that already does that, and it becomes instantly the feed for the user generated information. So I believe a lot of that's going to happen this way by acquisitions and not necessarily them doing their own projects.
Think about Instagram. Instagram has been acquired by
Yeah.
Meta, whatever, Facebook. LinkedIn has been bought by Microsoft. I mean, those things are happening. There is an entrepreneur with an idea or a bunch of entrepreneurs building products. Whoever missed the boat, they'll buy the boat. So,
Exactly.
but hey, can you tell us something about Vivo? Because I'm actually super interested about your product.
I'll start from the most important part, which is having a source to collect health data. So Vivo started as a wearable device technology company. This is the smallest, the thinnest device you're going to find in the world. And we got many awards for that. It just measures all of your health information, just like all the other wearable devices as well do measure your health information. So this is our starting point where we start to collect the user's data. We deliver a service to the users in the form of reports, how to get better, make better decisions. And we introduced blockchain technology to these devices. So the way it happens is every data block that is collected by a device becomes a data block in the blockchain, and we provide our users rewards for the creation of the data blocks. So once we started to do that, you're creating a connection between a wearable device. You're using the blockchain for the data. We also use the validation protocol to make sure that the data comes from a specific measurement from this device, from the biosensors, meaning this data cannot be changed, cannot be altered, cannot be duplicated. The only data that's valid is data that comes from a specific biosensor. And why that's important? Because blockchain is the perfect place to confirm if and validate if a data block is valid. Can you imagine? There's nothing more perfect than blockchain for that. So blockchain technology was already part of our business before we became a Web3 company as well. And we have already been operated under blockchain technology, regardless of being called a Web3 company or not. So that's the interesting part. We started in the usability part, why blockchain makes sense for a technology company to be using it instead of going the other way around and finding a use case, then incorporating in a product. So I think it's important to say that because there's so many businesses in general that can take advantage of blockchain for their day-to-day operations, and that's how we believe that things are going to scale, by using blockchain technology. So today where we have the wearable devices, they are still a part of our ecosystem, and that's how we grew our user base. So there's 500,000 people that are wearing devices and collecting their data on a daily basis, and receiving information and evaluation on their health, ideas on how to become healthier. So that's one part. From these people, 10% of them already have been converted into the Web3 space. So not only they're doing the wearing of the device and receiving all the benefits, they are also mining data with their heartbeats, which is the second part of our equation, where they start receiving rewards for the data that they generate. Because let's not forget, some people are just interested in wearing this because of the benefit that it provides. They don't necessarily have to be involved in data NFTs and things like that. So the way we connect a device to the person is through a data NFT, which is, again, blockchain is the perfect environment to give you the technology that will provide you ownership of something, regardless of what it is. So we tokenize the data, and the user becomes the owner of this data through the data NFT. Once you do that, they start monetizing their data through the data NFT, and of course, some sort of a DApp. In our case, it's in persona, but it's a business model that is becoming something that could plug in any type of IoT device. And there's over a billion, there's so many different possibilities for IoT devices that you can connect to, not only this one specifically, to a data NFT to a user. So imagine the size of the opportunity when you think of how many possible users of IoT devices exist, and how many possible individuals who want to secure their data and start monetizing on their data. I think something that's also important is in this process is when you give people the autonomy and the ownership of their data through an NFT, you remove completely the need of any personal information. And that's important because a lot of the companies that are collecting data, and a lot of the businesses that are collecting data, can make business decisions based on your health. We do not agree, for example, that you can have your mortgage denied because you have a health issue or because you have a heart condition. So this is not just about giving people access and ownership of their health data, but it's also shielding as a business model or as an insurance policy for each and every one of us, to protect us from practices that we don't know what's going to become in the future. Look at insurance, health insurance companies. There's so many different companies that buy data, health data today. And the reason they buy is because it helps them make business decisions or assess the risk of the clients, right? So we want to combat that by giving people access to their data, removing the personal information factor, so that we can together build a new way of monetizing health data that is completely trustless, that is decentralized, and you connect the real owner of the data with the company who wants to buy the data without any personal information involved.
How does it work practically? So I would imagine you would purchase the device and then you will have to connect some sort of a wallet into it and you will give it an NFT?
You got it. Yes. So you purchase a device. If you already have one, you can use the one you have. Our next step in our roadmap is to open the technology to any device that's compatible. That's over 300 different types of devices, including the big companies that you know, Garmin, Apple Watch. So all these devices, they are compatible already. So you need to buy a data NFT, which is it's just a tool. There's no volatility or no intention to make money out of the purchase of sale or the NFT. The NFT is a fixed price. It's just a tool for you to give your access and your ownership of the data. So you need a device, a data NFT, and a connection to a wallet. Why? Because the wallet that holds the NFT is the one who is going to receive the rewards for the data that are owned by the owner of that NFT. Simple and easy as anything in the blockchain. Once you connect this through these three different parts, it works by itself. There's 54,000 people already doing this on a daily basis, but with this type of device, our next step is opening the availability to any device that is connectable to our ecosystem.
And I guess you will have an app where you then connect your device.
We do have a proprietary app for this one, but if you use a Apple Watch, you already have the app that you use on your own device to follow your health stats, right? The only thing we do on the background is connect your data coming from this device, any device that is connectable with your data NFT, and from that point on, there's a wallet, there's a decentralized wallet that you hold. In our case, we have an app for that called InPersona. That's where you receive the rewards, but it could also be a MetaMask wallet. It's the tool that's important. The connections can happen in any other way. So we're at the beginning process. We have been growing in a controlled environment, in a secure environment, with our own user base and our own devices. Now we're testing other devices, and the tests have been successful. So this is the moment where we start to open up for anybody, right? And this is actually the moment where we go public too, where the token becomes available in exchanges, because anybody can now connect. Anybody can have access to the token, or have a way to tell their rewards, or in any way that they need. They don't even need to interact specifically with VSE. If you go to OpenSea, you will see NFTs there. We are multi-chain, so we have our own. VSE is a layer one. We need to be the layer one because of this mechanism of validation of the data. So we are our own blockchain, but the token and the NFTs, the digital assets, they are multi-chain. So you're going to find this on Polygon, you're going to find this on Binance Smart Chain, and on our own chain for now. We'll connect to other chains in the future. But if you go to OpenSea and you look for InPersona, for example, you will find the NFTs. However, today our users are purchasing the NFT through an app called InPersona. In this specific case of the NFT, when you see them here, if you decide to purchase, the price should always be fixed. You can find users who could announce or list their NFTs for a higher price. It's just a tool. You connect this NFT, you bind to your device. So through the app, you're going to put the information of your device, the MAC and the UI, and that's how you connect to this device or any other device. So I even can disconnect my NFT from this device and connect to a different device that I decide to wear. So you can swap between any wearable technology that's compatible. We actually do have different levels of NFTs and different price points, but what the NFT does, and because this is a proprietary wearable device technology, we're able to increase the capability of data collection or not. So you will find a couple of different levels that allow you to collect more data or less data, and as you collect more data, you receive higher rewards. Our focus is mainly on providing the blockchain, the tool that connects to any device, and even other devices in the future can have their own types of NFTs and programs to give rewards to their clients or their users that are compatible. What we see for the future, what we want to become, is the tool that allow anybody that is wearing any wearable device that collects health data to own their data and decide whether or not they want to broadcast and monetize their data. And then the way this is going to happen, it could be any way. We have a couple of ways today, but we're going to add new ones as we go along the way.
It's such a fantastic tool. Ever since Apple came up with the iWatch, I've been using it ever since. But like you said, my concern goes through, do I trust Apple? They are saying data is protected and is private, but there is no way to verify, because usually trust goes like this. You have to give it to figure it out if it's true or not. But when it comes to blockchain, what you guys are doing is actually different. I like it because you can actually verify it, because you have an ecosystem, a blockchain, who's going to say, look, don't mind what I'm saying, go and check yourself, because you can actually see. Basically, you connect your device through the ownership of the NFT, so the pass or the access, in order for me to earn some rewards. What exactly I have to do besides collecting data?
The NFT is the part that you connect or you bind to your wearable device. In the Impersona app, for example, when you open the app, you will see your data NFT on your wallet, and then you can bind that data NFT to a specific device that's compatible. It could be any device that's compatible. This one is compatible today. There's a list of hundreds of other devices that are compatible. When you put the information of your device, you're giving the NFT the authorization to connect to your data that's already being collected. Whether you decide to monetize or not, the data is already being collected by your device. Yeah, like, you need to know that because that's important.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
choose. The only difference that you're doing here is you're choosing to start shielding the data and receiving rewards for this data. Our next development in the case of VSC is we are building a decentralized digital health marketplace, digital health data marketplace. So the companies who buy data, think of this from the other side, right? From the companies who buy the user health data. Is it better to buy from the actual user directly, knowing that this data has been verified, or is it better to buy from provide you information, but then you have to run an audit on top of that to make sure that this data is legitimate? Our vision is to collect all of the users who have ownership of their data, and they will build with us the decentralized digital health marketplace. And the data buyers are going to come and buy this data directly from the owners. We don't make any profits on any of this process. We're just providing the tool, but we want to give people the option to be the ones who actually build the connection with the data buyers, and they decide, and they are the only ones in the process that receive the proceeds from their data. For even for the data buyer, it is a better idea to buy from the users directly. It's just that the tool is not existent today, right? They use data brokers for that. So what if you could really build the connection in an environment that is decentralized, where they could have access directly to the person who owns the heartbeat? Then they would know it's real, and then they would know they're really buying from that specific data block. But everything is trustless and it's decentralized. It's just a tool that will function the same way they today already buy data, but they're getting the access of real legitimate data that has been confirmed before it became a data block in the blockchain. So that's how secure, and that's how you apply the real blockchain technology to a business model that needs it more than anything.
Earlier, you said you support a different type of chain. So that happens in the Impersona app. When you create the NFT, do you choose which chain to work with?
You choose, but we're also opening the bridge that will allow you to go between different chains if you choose to. What's important for you, if you choose, let's say, Polygon, that's the place where you will receive your rewards. But in any case, you can transfer your NFT to different chains. You can transfer your rewards to different chains. So this is all about to happen now.
I suppose if you decide to mint your pass or NFT in the In-Persona app through Polygon, that means your rewards are coming through the Polygon network, right? Because your NFT is going to talk to the Polygon network as opposed to, I don't know what kind of blockchain you support, but I would imagine maybe the biggest. So then the user can choose to mint their pass.
Yeah, not only you have to, your concern shouldn't be so much where you mint, because we allow you to transfer too. So you will be able to transfer to different chains your NFT, and wherever it goes, that's where the rewards will follow you.
Is there a cost to have your pass?
I think the starting price of the NFTs is $35, so it's a very low ticket. And from that point, there are different combinations of things that you can put in your purchase, but it starts at a very low entry point. If you have your device, you don't need a new one. Don't get a new one. Use the one you already have. Connect to it. You just get the NFT and start mining crypto with your heartbeat. If you decide to upgrade, you have different options, but what's important is it needs to be available for everyone at the lowest possible entry point, so that anybody could start owning and shielding their data and receiving rewards for generating data blocks that will later become a data marketplace where the buyers will come.
And like you said, the data has been tracked anyway, so you might as well monetize it because it's not like no one
Exactly.
is looking into it. So it's a no-brainer.
It's a huge industry. It's an industry that's going to be $1 trillion in 2030. Imagine the size of the possibility for the people who own this data today, right? So, our mission is to connect the millions of users of any IoT device to a $1 trillion industry. So that, because at the end of the day, it's their data, it's nobody else's. Why is this happening in a way where people are not taking ownership? This is not happening to replace a model that already exists. It's just another model that the people create, the people who own the data. It's more secure, it's verified, and it's directly from the source. And it's done in a way we believe is the fair way to do it, which is the owner is the one who monetizes what they produce. Of course, you're not going to replace these two models. Can coexist on the same space. You can continue to provide your data to your device company, and they may continue to monetize. However, blockchain technology solves the issue of the verification of the data, and they don't need to. The data buyer doesn't need to run a very expensive audit on top of it to make sure that the data is real. It is really coming from specific data measurements that will not generate the data block if it wasn't done this way. So for the data buyer, it's safer too. And over time, maybe this could be as anything that we believe. Sometimes when it starts, it doesn't look like it's going to take over, but soon enough, because it's the right model, it does take over. So we believe people might be able to create this model that could replace the current model. It's interesting to look at the ecosystem as something that is more than just the producing the data and making it available to be monetized. We have other partnerships and connections in place that will go with the user throughout the whole journey. So there is a device technology that's available. There is the data NFT that's also available, but where do you go after that? So for us, this is the moment where the token becomes available in the list in the exchanges, so that anybody can have access to go in or to go out. But also we have other solutions related, like a card, for example, where you can cash out your rewards and use in any store that accepts MasterCard. This is super important because it needs to go the whole way, right? You cannot stop in a portion of the process where you don't know where to get from there. So there are many companies and solutions that are connected to the ecosystem that will go with the user through the journey until the end, until they're buying groceries in the supermarket using the rewards that they receive for the data. So there's a whole spectrum that is part of the ecosystem.
It's actually nice to think about the entire ecosystem as opposed to just one portion of it. So giving the option to, like you said, to users to exit in many different ways will be for sure something people will appreciate. By the way, I will leave in the comments down below all the links so people can go and find you. And if they want to download the app and create an NFT, they'll be able to do so. This is one of those no-brainer moments where you are thinking, well, wait a second, my data is already been monetized by someone else, so I might as well take control. It's not like it's not happening. It is happening.
It is.
As
Yeah.
long as you have one of those devices who tracks your heartbeat and everything, then you might as well look into it and, become the owner of your own data. Companies like yours are going to help people take control. I love it.
Yeah, I think more important than owning, and owning, of course, it's important, is not allowing your data to be sold with your personal information. This needs to stop. There's no other way. So we need to have this model in a way that shields the personal data of the user from their health data, because your social security number has nothing to do with the fact that you have a heart condition. So if a data buyer is trying to buy data related to health, they should buy data related to health and not carry the personal information of the owner of that data. And that's what we believe. So this is the strongest point that we believe makes a difference when it comes to health data monetization.
Yeah, indeed, because otherwise, like you said rightfully, they will know who you are and they will know all your conditions, which it shouldn't be connected.
Imagine the possibilities of any company interacts or does business with you as an individual, knowing your health information. Why? Why is that important? Why? Right? So it shouldn't be available like that. So that is what we're trying to change here. Separate what should never be done together, and giving people the ownership and the option to take action on their health data.
Mariana, thank you so much. It's been great having you on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day and I'll speak to you soon, okay?
Bye.
Bye.